Hello, welcome back to LCDC TV. One in, one out, as they say. In the hot seat, I've got Alan McGrady, Rates and Highways Committee member of the LCDC. You may have seen him around the cafe. He hovers around the Astral Cafe and Sapori's most of the day.
Sponsored by Sapori's.
Sponsored by Sapori's, yeah. So, Alan, I know you had. Let's start by saying that yesterday, when I spoke to you, you was on a site visit in Westminster with the rates and TfL.
We've had sort of this in the book for age, because they're not doing meetings. We've been doing Zoom meetings with Westminster Council, TPH. It's been hard to talk to anyone, as you know. So we had some ranks on a tranche list that have been hanging around, and Westminster Council wanted to see the feasibility, whether they can do them, they can't do them, just to get them off the books. So we had a drive around Westminster Council, Ranks Committee and TPH yesterday, and during lockdown it's probably, people have noticed that we've been popping up somewhere where we probably shouldn't have, but we've been meeting demand at places where we've not had demand, like at hospitals. All of a sudden hospitals during lockdown were still being used. So we went yesterday, we looked at sort of Great Portland Street, Portland Hospital, up at Grove End Road, Circus Road up around there for the hospitals up there. They look feasible, and Westminster they've took photos, they've gone away, we've come back, and it's a lot of to and fro-ing now. They'll come back, say we want one, they can get one, we'll say no, we want three, we want two, and see what we come up with. It's all down to Westminster. It's their car space, it's their road space, everyone else is vying for it, so loading people want it. So then we went to Grosvenor Square, the Rosewood Hotel. We had plans the other week that came through from WPS to say that this is what's going to happen at the Grosvenor Hotel, well, it's the Rosewood Hotel. And lo and behold, we didn't have a taxi rank.
We didn't?
No, we haven't got one there. Guess what though? The hotel want 2 spaces for their own private cars.
Oh, okay. Makes
so
sense.
we haven't got one at the moment, but it's still in the early days. The hotel isn't open until 2024. It's going to be a big 5-star hotel, but there is room for us now.
But Westminster, they would appreciate the need to have a cabinet outside.
They know that, but it's someone else has drawn the drawings up without going to the Westminster, the people we deal with on the Crown Estates. This is the Grosvenor Estate, so we deal with the Crown Estate a lot. So this is Grosvenor Estate. And we can then now go back to them and say, look, no, we want the 2 spots or 3 spots. We'll take as many as we can get.
For sure.
So there is some shuffling to be done now. But this is what we've always said to Westminster, get us in on the ground floor. When there's a hotel opening up,
when the drawings are being done even.
Don't wait for the hotel to go up for us to come and say, look, we want a space there, and then 6 to 12 months down the line, it then goes in. So we had a look at the new ranks that went in, and Hacky-san, there was a bit of grief over social media that we'd lost.
I'd say that.
Yeah, not gained, we'd lost spaces at Hacky-san. Only if people went out and had a look at the rank sign, they would have seen that.
But it's easy to look on Twitter and then go, oh, they're rubbish, Alan McGrady.
Yeah, I'll get it on Facebook, Ranks Committee absolutely useless, but then again, certain people should call me up and say that, but they don't.
So what happened to Akasan?
Well, we had 5 spaces, and I think they run from about 8:30 at night to 8:30 in the morning. But they looked like a parking bay. So guess what? Public parked on them, because they thought after 6:30 they could park anywhere.
Yeah.
So we had no sort of hold, unless it actually says taxi on the floor.
No signage, no proper signage.
No, we had proper signage there, but public don't get out and look at the signposts. They just park their car up, think it's parking for them. So we've now got 2 spaces that run for 24 hours. So we've got 2 legit spaces there, and people are going, oh, we've got 2, but we've lost 3 because we had 5. But if they look at the sign, those spaces become ours at night as well. So
we've got 2 all day.
We've got 2 all day.
5,
so we then turn into a 5 space. So we've lost nothing. Yet again,
nothing. Gained 2 in the day, but it's a loss.
But people didn't see that. They jumped all over it, and certain people start saying things, and it just rolls into. So then I have to go on social media to try and calm things down. So we've got that, and then we've got the one hotel. We've got the 1 space at Buckingham Gate there in front of the hotel. But yet again, like the Shard, drivers don't want to feed over onto the 1 space. So we get arguments because no one is using ranks as they should be using. Feeder rank is there to feed the main point. You go across, you
It's
feed
not
across.
a separate rank.
No,
is it?
it's not. It can work as two separate, but you must move over to the main rank when it becomes. You can take off a feeder rank, as you know.
Yeah.
You can take off the point, but you move over.
But if you're on point at the feeder,
Yeah, so
and the cabs go on the main, you feed over there.
Every time one should go across. So
Yeah.
we fought hard to get a spot outside, roughly as close as we could get to the door at St James's Court Hotel. We've got one spot there, which is perfect for wheelchairs, because this one, guess what? It will probably go on the one back on the 5 space. Will probably go because it's not wheelchair accessible. So unless they can move it over there, so we've got one where we can say, well, if the wheelchair goes over there, we can feed over, or the one off the point takes it. But what's happening is that one's being left free. They don't want to work that because guess what? Oh, I'll get work off of this. But no, that's
wall cups.
Yeah, I get the wall cups off that, and that's the same arguments I have at the Shard, day in, day out. They don't want to work it. When St Thomas's Street goes back 2-way, and it will go 2-way, we're back down the bottom. Now, if we lose the 2-cab rank, yet again, we're back stuck down there, and they don't see the bigger picture. Drivers, as you know, some are there just for themselves. So with Westminster Council, I'll still say they're good for us, but we have got some changes coming round Oxford Street. In the next couple of weeks, I think, Burner Street will go one way north. All
the way up to...
all the way up to, only up to where it splits now. It'll go one way north up to that bit, and then as you go down, Newman Street will come one way south.
Oh, right.
So going down Oxford Street, you won't be able to go right up Newman because that's now coming south. But we haven't been told yet again where the last.
So you're going to drop off at the hotel if you're coming up Oxford Street.
Right.
And
This is what we're waiting to find out. Whether we could go left into Burner Street. We can go right into Burner Street. That's not been confirmed. Whether we can do the same right as we could at Newman Street.
Or we could get an Uber licence and we could drive up one-way streets the wrong way and just
blame it on the sat nav.
Blame it on the sat nav.
Yeah, because sat nav probably won't be changed out.
That's an option.
We've got some changes coming on Oxford Street, as you know, that they're still looking to swap Oxford Street around. Soho parts could be going electric vehicle only.
Sorry?
Yeah, you heard that. Yeah.
Say that again. Listen to this one.
Well, they're looking at certain roads in and around Soho might go electric only.
But what about if you're on petrol when you're driving?
Well, they don't.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
no, sorry.
They don't know.
Cut that.
But and then we've got Covent Garden. They're looking at a scheme in Covent Garden as well, maybe. But Westminster at the moment are looking to take out their COVID sort of alfresco dining areas on Old Compton Street.
Well, and expand it.
No, take them away now.
Oh, right. So we can have access.
Yeah, because we'll gain access. Now they're looking at Covent Garden, probably to bring Henrietta Street back in, and Tavistock, and have that sort of, so we can drive back through there. Because no one wants to do alfresco dining in winter today.
It's a bit hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it is hard. So they're looking to take that. The only COVID restrictions that Westminster Council also put in that we haven't sort of pushed them on yet, and I don't think they'll do it until after Christmas, is whether they actually take Regent Street, take the curb lines back out to where they was.
That knife are bad. Whoever designed that.
Yeah, well, it was a make weight just to make the curbs as big as they could, and no buses or nothing. Should have made it buses and taxis only, but that's down to them to make that decision.
But I sat on a meeting with Heidi Alexander. We were discussing amongst things Bishopsgate, Busgate, right?
Yeah.
And she said that at the time of the meeting, it was only a few months ago, that these were only temporary with COVID. Now, the fact that Boris is saying we need to get back to the office, we need to open up, all these LTNs and these big road closures like Bishopsgate, surely, if Heidi Alexander is as good as her word and says
really?
when it...
Really?
Yeah. And says, stop laughing. Stop laughing. If she's as good as her word, then once it all starts going back, and we're seeing it is going back now, then these closures should just be opened up to, as Boris says, build back better, to open the roads back so they work better.
Yeah, I see it might go the other way because they want, if COVID's still about, they might want to give as much footfall to the workforce in the city as possible.
Yeah, but if you're not wearing a mask and you're not socially distancing, then what's the odds? Whether I'm standing next to you now, they probably come to the city on an underground where they're sitting like this and they're not going to wear a mask. They're going to go up to the ground level and walk, all covered by fresh air.
Yeah, but TfL probably see it a completely different way. That the only thing that matters to them is their buses are getting through probably quicker than they ever got through, and that's the main part of it. Their buses are now transversing up and down Bishopsgate unaided.
And I'll tell you what was interesting. We're all talking about blaming the mayor and all that for LTNs. It was in the Telegraph, I believe, that the government now are saying to local authorities, if you're going to start to lift up these LTNs and open up, they're going to stop giving them grants. So as we all know, we think it's Sadiq doing it, but he's being supported by this government, not the Green Socialist Conservative Party with Boris at the helm. He's actively using the mayor and TfL to push through his agenda and saying to the councils, if you're going to shut all these bike lanes or you're going to open it up, we're going to stop your funding. It's disgraceful what's going on with Boris.
Well, that was always going to be the way that he has always had that agenda, one bike lanes, isn't it? So it either comes from him, it comes from Andrew Gillingham, and it comes from other Will Norman. So he's got such a big lobbying sort of machine behind him, even down to his wife, who's probably pushing him on green issues as well. So he's going to be there or thereabouts because he's a cyclist.
Exactly. Just quickly, before we wrap it up, what's happening down the Fulham Road outside the hospital?
Oh right, so yeah, we've got the free cab rank winning. Thanks for reminding me.
That's right.
Should have written that down. We've got the free cab rank that's gone in. TPH have done well really to push that in. They've worked hard and they do work hard. Like I say, other parts might let us down, but the ranks, and I'll sing their praises all the time. They do work hard, and they've got the free cab rank. There was huge problems down there with overranking, as they would say, or jobs parked up, but they have said, and like K&C have said, that if it gets abused, if there is overranking, they'll pull it. So we've just got to be a bit
the drivers,
they've got to be keen just not to sort of overrank and stick it up behind. Play the game there, and if it's busy, you probably won't have 15 cabs because they'll be doing it, but you will have the 3 cabs sitting on there, and we've got to do that with a lot of ranks. But it has showed you though that where we have ranked up during COVID, and I'll say it again, that there is scope for us to have ranks at certain venues now and hospitals that we can do with.
Well, I was always amazed that outside every hospital there isn't a cab rank, because the times I've dropped off at hospital and then I've seen some poor soul coming out in a wheelchair trying to get into a minicab where the driver or their husband or wife is trying to give this poor soul a fireman's lift to get into the coming out of hospital in wheelchairs. How fantastic would it be to get into a black cab, straight in the ramp, in the back of the cab and off? It should be a given that every hospital should surely look at having a cab rank installed outside or on their property, and it can be called in for all their patients.
Yeah, we should have ranks at, like you say, at every hospital. A lot of the problem is the hospitals sit on private land, and a lot of their land is taken up for ambulances and people dropping off, and they use it for parking revenue like they do. So we should have 2 bays at the bottom of St Thomas's by the Lambeth wing. We should have 2 bays up by the cancer wing at Guy's. Most hospitals should be. We did have two at the UCH, but they took that away for COVID. And
is it coming back?
It probably will, because they're the ones that actually installed that one in. They put that one down after someone sort of really got onto him to get it, and he did well getting it.
So they see the virtue of having a cab rank outside the hospital.
Yeah, but sometimes the hospital needs to be told, or it needs to be poked, and I'm just going to shift up as well on off that one onto Charing Cross, because I know there's been some stuff said on social media about Charing Cross. They have put a sign up that says the rank's only from working from, I think it's 6:30 to 11:30 at night. TPH have spoken to Charing Cross, and they said the reason that is that they're chasing it up because someone's put it up and they're not sure who's put the sign up, but they reckon one of the reasons was one of their staff got hit by a car on the forecourt. Not a cab, but a car or a vehicle. So they was looking to try and stop the access into the station or stop the throughput of vehicles. But at the moment, the person at Charing Cross has said, well, the status quo stays the same and you carry on working it. Because we work that rank till sort of 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's people on their own, women on their own, people, they know that there's going to be either a cab on that rank or pulling onto it.
And listen, all this prevalent news at the moment about women's safety, lone females feeling unsafe walking the streets of London, central London, as we know, ain't the safest place in the world. So if you're a lone female thinking you've come out of a party, I've got to get home, you certainly don't want to be flagging down a car on the street. But if you know that there's a cab rank, well, you can make your way to the station.
Well, we did that years ago, didn't we? When we put the security guards at Novo, and then we put them down. Then we put them down at Tiger.
That's right. Yeah.
And we took a lot of flack off the radio for doing that because they said, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that." But we actually had drivers and women coming round to us, saying,
thanking us.
Yeah, thanking us, and drivers were actually pulling over and to get unruly drunk passengers out of the cab, they would actually pull over and say, "Look, can you get them out?" Because
well, and I'll be very brief, right? When we had the marshals there, a cab driver stopped outside Noble and said to our marshals, "I've got a guy in the back, he won't pay the fare." Right? They opened the back door, they eloquently removed him, right?
Helped him out of the cab, yeah?
Helped him down to an ATM, got the money, come back, give it to the driver, and off he went. So there's a very positive aspect of having these.
We should have marshals on a few ranks, but TfL won't fund those marshals no more. Exactly. They pulled all the funding.
Alan, before we wrap it up, as I said, LCDC TV is predominantly to have the discussion between us and you, the cab driver, the cab trade. I've got a message here just come through from Aziz Mehmet. Please talk about bad driver etiquette, not good for the trade. How many times, Alan, have you let someone out and they've gone down the road and pulled in front and nicked a job?
Yeah.
And I do say nicked a job, not took a job, nicked a job. Yeah.
Sometimes you look at the badge number and sometimes you wipe your mouth. He might not know.
No.
But because there isn't a rule book that we hand to drivers coming out and say, look, there's no rules, but this is a sort of unwritten rule. If you let someone out, you let the next job go because that would be theirs. Yeah. And yet,
picking up close to a rank.
Yeah, picking up in my bugbear, picking up in front of the rank. And then people say, well, how far do you give it? No one knows how far you give it. If you can see the light on the cab, you throw it to the rank.
You say back there.
Yeah, you would say there's a cab there. If you're behind the rank, some people will say the rank's there, and some people go, well, no, I'm not in view of it. It's not there. I'm behind it, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
There is bad etiquette out there.
Just use common sense.
Sometimes,
really.
Grant, you look at the badge numbers and they're down low, and you think you should know better than this.
You are.
But yeah, they do.
Scoundrel.
You think you should know better. You've been out long enough to know that you shouldn't take from there, or pick up in front of the rank. But there's always going to be bad etiquette, and I'd say most of the 99% of the time the drivers know exactly what they're doing, and we all play by the game.
So if you're watching this, you just got out, if a driver lets you out of a side turning, please don't drive down the road. Someone put their hand up, pull in and nick the job.
But
it's not good.
On that case, how far do you then drive on before? If the cab's still behind you, do you still throw it back and you've gone a mile?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I know that. I always turn off. If he's still behind me, I will turn off just to get rid of him, so I know the next one's mine.
And if you're near a rank like Sloane Square or other stuff like that, someone's coming out on the other side of the station, just say, look, there's a rank there. Because predominantly the rank's full. They've been stewing on the rank a bit, and come on, play the game.
Play the game. That should be the word. Play the game, and that's what the majority of us do.
I'm going to shout some questions through, right?
We got some questions that just been.
I'm going to shout. We should have it on iPad. So Dino S, what's happening with the shard ranks? It's a mess. missed.
Okay, what's
right,
happening?
He needs marshalling for a few months to teach drivers.
Okay.
It doesn't need to teach drivers because the drivers working it have been out ages. It's all coming down to greed. They don't want to move off that 3 cab rank to shift over to the 2 cab rank. I've had so many arguments down there. The drivers that are working that 3 cab rank want it as only a single rank. They said do away with the 2 cab rank. We went on demos to get the 2 cab rank. We ain't going to get rid of it. Work it. If you don't work it, guess what? We'll lose it. And
then they'll say to you, what are you doing in the cab ranks? We've just lost a rank.
The 2 cab rank. But the drivers down there, they're not new badges, they're old badges, they've been out ages, and they will sit there. I will pull up to the window and I'll go, are you going across, mate? And they'll go, no, I'm sitting there, you can do it if you want to.
So they'd rather be on point at that rank than 2 or 3 on that rank. 2
on the other one. They don't want. So I will go across. I will drive past 3 cab drivers. If they don't want to go across it, I will go over and work it. 9 times out of 10, I'm off that point of that number 2 rank before they've even gone. Now, you've got to do it because this is what's happening on feeder ranks. Because okay, the hotel was shut. This has all come about because the hotel was shut and the hospital there was still running. People walking out the station, and guess what? They walked to that one first. And yeah, okay, sometimes you might sit over on there for 10 minutes and you'll watch 3 cabs go off that one down. But that's what they're afraid of. And what's even worse is, the worst bit is the traffic lights behind it, the cab drivers will sit there and wait. They'll wait, but they won't throw it up to the rank. They're illegally over-ranking. This is the best bit. They're
trying to nick a job.
They're illegally over-ranking on the back end, and I don't care because you shouldn't be doing it, and you know you shouldn't be doing it. But if you're doing it, but don't nick the job as it comes out, because you should push it up to the feeder rank, because that is the front of that rank, not across, because that ranks first. Push it up to there. Get them to walk up. Don't take the next job off and then drive past the 3 cab rank, because get again, that's bad etiquette.
There you go. Any more?
But we won't get marshals down there because no one's going to marshal. It should marshal itself. It has done before. When the rank was down the other end, guess what? They couldn't wait to get up to the 2 cab rank. As soon as that cab was coming down,
could be a flyer at the hotel, anything.
Well, they couldn't wait to get off that rank to get up there.
And like Alan says, I remember when we was organising the demonstration about the Shard, with Leon Daniels, I think, said you won't have a rank, didn't he?
No, it was Garrett. It was Garrett Emerson.
Sorry, Leon, it was your number 2, Garrett Emerson.
He probably said it somewhere.
Useless.
He probably said it somewhere along, but yeah, Garrett Emerson said, let them idiots demonstrate in a one-way street or something. And yeah, we blocked the place up.
It was the owner of the Shard.
I was in the meeting, and the owner, Garrett, sat there with his Blackberry, sitting there, and he was like, yeah, didn't look no one in the face. He just sitting there and went, yeah, we're going to give you the rank. And the owner went, I told him to give him the rank. I wanted that rank. So just shows you sometimes.
There you go.
Well, that's it.
All right,
that's it at the moment. So listen.
Is that me done for the month?
Is it? No, you'll be back in a couple of weeks. So there you go. Right. I hope you've enjoyed the show today as much as I have. Again, LCDC. If you want to thinking of joining the trade org, come to us, look at the website, see what we're doing. As you see, we've got Alan, we've got Danny, myself, full-time drivers, just trying to make a difference and trying to keep this great industry of ours alive by whatever means necessary. So, again, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming in, Alan.
Cheers, Granny.
Lovely.
My head's better this time.
Good boy.
And I like the drawing. You've done well with that drawing on the back.
It took me a long time with the old pen set out.
I thought it was a Banksy you had drawn there. Yeah. You've done really well.
I'll rip it off. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Take care.